This is Jack Armstrong with Jack Daddy Customs, and we are going to start a massive project. So welcome to the barn. This is where we're going to be for the next couple of weeks, hopefully not too many more months. And we're fixing to build a boat from scratch. So you guys saw old Scrappy that I built when I cut the John boat in half. If you hadn't, go check out that video. It's just a short video explaining what I did. But that was kind of a preparation for being able to build one with good, fresh, raw aluminum from scratch. And that's what we're gonna do in this next several videos. So the first thing that we gotta do is head to Louisiana. So me and my good friend Don, we're going to Louisiana. My buddy that works at the seminary out there in New Orleans, he's got us a place to stay for the night. And then we're gonna head on over to Broussard, Louisiana. So stay tuned and let's go pick up some metal and get started on building this awesome boat. All right, so we just picked up the metal. Yeah, I'll show you in the back of the truck. We got it in the back. Now we got a long drive home, about 5 hours and 45 minutes. But right here, Pierce Aluminum. That's where we got the metal. We about to head home though. It's a long trip. Get terrible gas mileage in a Toyota pulling this. 745 pounds of aluminum. So the boat will weigh somewhat close to that, not all the way, but let's go. All right, this is an exciting day for me. So as you can see, we've got everything unloaded into the shop. So the next thing we got to do is just start, right? And this is exciting, but it's also kind of scary because I mean, if I mess up, this is a pretty expensive mistake. But I mean, I've watched a bunch of videos. I've been around a couple of boat builders, and I mean, I ain't trying to brag, but I'm saying like I can weld pretty decent with aluminum. I can fit pretty good. So, I mean, it can't be that hard. I mean, all you gotta do is just make it watertight and it'll float, right? So that's the goal. But I mean, there's a lot of technical stuff involved too, and we're fixing to get going today. So hopefully this is the first day we're starting. I've got the afternoon left to do it. You know, left to work. I had some errands I had to do this morning. So, I think my goal today is to cut out the transom piece. So I've got a piece of 1/8 a drop off of the hull, and I'm gonna use it for my transom, but I've got some big heavy channel that I'm gonna put up that the motor will actually mount to. So what I wanna weld today, or what I wanna at least cut out today, is the transom. And then if I have time, I would love to go ahead and cut the rake. So it's gonna be a modified V, which means I've gotta cut kind of like a V shape out of the whole front 5 feet of the boat, and then pull that up gradually as I weld it together, and that will make my nose, my front, my bow, and then I'll pull my sides to it, right? So that's, if I could do all that today, I mean, that's huge. So let's start getting this transom cut out. So the first thing I'm gonna do is use a piece of cardboard, and I'm gonna put cardboard right around there and then trace it. I'm just gonna trace the shape of my transom. And then that way I can put that on a piece of metal. I'm gonna make a lot of cardboard templates to make sure everything works, because I don't wanna mess it up and have to go buy more aluminum. It's expensive. So yeah, we're gonna cut this right now. All right, I got it traced out onto this piece of aluminum right here. I don't know if you can see the Sharpie lines, but yeah, you can. So you see over here, this is where the side comes up. And so that's where we used our cardboard to cut that. And then it's gonna have a step deck. So this is the bottom step right here. So that's gonna come across, but then it's gonna catch the transom. And I'm gonna have a 20-inch transom on this. And it's gonna be back at a 15-degree angle. So this is gonna come up, and I'm gonna put a big plate. So I got like 3 pieces of 8-inch channel. So it's gonna be 24 inches across. It's gonna give me plenty of room to have my jack plate mounted to this, which is made out of 1/2 inch aluminum. So this is an 1/8 inch, but my transom, the main part that's going to hold the motor, is going to be 1/2 inch aluminum channel. So I've got those pieces welded together. I made those a while back, just knowing what I was going to do. So again, it's going to be a 15-degree angle. This is going to come back, cross the transom, come back down to the other side, and then catch the edge right there. So one thing is, if you're going to do this, like when you put your cardboard up there, you know, I marked it where it was flat, but I had to go back and put it at a 15-degree angle and make sure. So I ended up having to cut a little bit more off the top, because when it's at that angle, it's going to change, you know, how the curve goes up. If you're just building a square chine, it ain't going to matter, right? Because you can just, yeah, it wouldn't matter. You just cut it square and bend it back. But since it's got radius and I got rounded chines, I need to make sure that at a 15-degree angle is going to be right. So. Before I can put my transom on the boat, I got to cut out the 15-degree angle. So you can see my lines right here, and then I'm going to cut out the step deck as well while I'm here. So the back of the boat will be square, so that's easy enough. You just come down square. But the bottom, you know, the step deck's got to come back, and then it's got to be a 15-degree angle for my transom to sit on. So what I did is, this inside line, that's going to be where the transom sits. This outside line is going to be my cut line. That way I've got a good solid space to weld on when I put my transom down in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this piece cut out, and then we'll see if the transom fits that we cut. I'll show you the back side of the transom that I got done. Just got it all welded up inside and out. I didn't do the middle part welding it on the inside because that's where I'm gonna have my transom, and I hadn't decided if I want to weld it up right here and then like cut a groove on the back side of my transom so that it'll fit down over that weld, or if I just want to put my transom on and then weld up kind of all the way around it. So I hadn't decided yet, but I'll do that later. Let me show you this and then we'll move to the front of the boat. Now for the front of the boat, it's going to be a Mach V. So if it was just a flat bottom, we could just cut down the side, bend our rake up where we wanted it, and then bring the sides over. But since it's a modified V, hopefully it'll split the waves a little bit better. What we do is we got to cut a V out of the front, and we're going to make ours go back 5 foot. So I got a buddy that builds boats here in town, and he gave me a pattern. So this is a pattern that they use for their V, but they get ribs on the bottom of their boats. This is out of the middle rib. You can see it's kind of ribbed right there. So I'm going to lay this down right in the dead center line of the boat, trace it out, and this is only for a 4 foot V, okay, or a 4 foot length, but we want ours 5 foot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to where it's at 5 foot after I draw this pattern, and then I'm going to follow it along the edge, just kind of where it would be. All right, so then I'm going to have a wider, obviously it'll be a little bit wider, but it probably won't be, it might be like an extra 1/2 inch on each side or something. It won't be much, but it's just going to get that split back a little bit further so that my front of my boat has a more gradual V rather than just a straight up V in the front to kind of plow through the waves. I want to land on them and split them, okay? So at least that's what I think I want to do. So I'm fixing to get the dead center line, draw this out, cut it out, and then we're going to cut right down the side of where my bend is on my boat, and then that will allow us to be able to pull these pieces up. Hopefully it won't be too hard. Weld up that seam right down the middle, and then that's going to obviously pull them in tighter, and then we're going to have to bring our edges in to weld them up. So let's get this done, get this V cut, and then I got chicken on the smoker, and it's almost 4 o'clock. It's supposed to be done by 6. So maybe I can have my day done in 2 hours if I can get this V done in 2 hours. I don't even have to get it all welded up. I just want it tacked up where it's supposed to be, and then I'll have my hole kind of done on day 1. Let's get it done. Got both sides cut, so they're loose, and I mean, you can see. Yeah, I mean, we're fixing to see if we can bend it up and make a V in the front. I'm gonna have to get some help, get my wife and my boys out here, see if they can help me a little bit. But I use the Metabo with a cutoff wheel. Like, it's not the best thing for aluminum. Sometimes you can spray them with a little bit of PAM and they won't gall up with that aluminum. But what I like about it is on this V in the middle, since it wasn't just a straight line, I didn't want to use my worm drive saw with a non-ferrous blade. I wanted to be able to bend it, you know, so that cutoff wheel works pretty good. You don't have to cut just a straight line. You can bend it with the line. And then in the sides, again, like getting in there, it was easier to use that cutoff wheel to just kind of put it right in the side and go right down the seam. Anyways, enough talking. Let's get this V shaped up.
I wake up in the morning in this great blue state. Golden fingers caress my face, slips through the window on a silky breeze. A dreamer's line to plant some seeds. She's my believer, healing all my doubts. A lighted mirror, reflecting out every true potential. A bedrock belief, an elaborate plot to set this bird free.
All right, we got it tacked up the sides and bent up the rake. That was a lot of work. We had 3 ratchet straps, 2 people. The camera battery died because it was taking so long to get it done. Got a rope from the trusses. It was difficult, but I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. That's great. So our next thing we're gonna do, and I may not show it on here, I don't know, but I'm just gonna cut off this front level, and then of course we'll flip this thing over, weld up all the bottom sides that we gotta weld up, and cut off these edges even with the boat. But we're gonna go ahead and cut this front piece level and call it a day.